KUGAN, CASSIUS, iPhone TV in association with MTK Global. We're in Leeds here for the Warrington Sealand build tomorrow night at the First Direct Arena. I'm joined by Dave Allen. Whoa.
Hello.
What on earth is going on?
Yeah, you know, I've come to the way to support Darren Tetley, first and foremost. Good show tomorrow. This, I think, you know, I'll be watching this and obviously Eddie's show. I think there's some good fights on between them both. But yes, more importantly, we're just waiting. Yeah, for me, sorry. We're just waiting to see what's happening with Lenroy. At the minute,
what did you say? It's 1:30.
At 1:30. Well, basically, at 10 o'clock last night, I was doing an Instagram live, and everyone was like, "You fights off me," and I was like, "What are you talking about?" So I went off there, went onto Twitter, and someone sent me something off Lenroy's personal Facebook. I'm fighting November 4th, and I'm fighting David Allen on the Hey Bellew card. So I'm thinking, I don't think you are, because I'm fighting you next week. And then I went on to back onto Twitter, and then I rung Mick Marsden, and as soon as I put the phone down and then texted him, like Eddie had texted him, Mick was writing a text out, and as soon as he was writing it out, saying like, Twitter, like, do you know what's going on? Eddie had texted him straight away saying, Lenroy says he's not very well. So I'm thinking, you're not very well, like, what's up here? And then apparently he's got a virus, but he's fighting November 4th, so it's only a week's difference. If you're not well enough for the 28th, you're not well enough for the 4th. I just think Kenny Porter wants to keep with Sean over there in America, and he wants to keep Lenroy there, and then he wants the best of both worlds. And I'm hoping Lenroy comes over because I'm ready now. You know, I've got myself in fantastic condition. Everything's gone perfectly well. I hope Lenroy's well. If he is not well, then I hope he get better. But come on, you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? When I boxed Luis Ortiz, I was in a car crash and broke my nose like 3 days previously, and I still got in there and boxed.
So you're saying that if you can fight after a car crash, then he can fight
with a cold? Fucking hell. Do you know what I mean? I've got a cold nearly every day of the year. It's a cold, isn't it? A virus is a cold.
But is that what you've been told it is?
Apparently it's a virus. Now, what kind of virus? I don't know. There's different kinds of viruses about, apparently. But it's only a cold, isn't it? A virus is a cold. He's got a cold. You can't pull out of a Commonwealth heavyweight title fight. That was agreed 10 weeks ago. I think it's in my body. Yeah.
Can we see your body?
With all the filters on.
Can we see your body?
Not right now.
In the flesh?
It's too dark in here.
Oh, yeah, of course.
No, you know, he beat me last time. Fair and square, he's the better man. But so I genuinely just think Sean Porter's fighting over there. Kenny's thinking Lenroy can get a little fight, and then we can fight him Hey Bellew anyway. Do you know what I mean? But I'm fighting in Cardiff regardless. I hope it's Lenroy because I really want to beat him.
What has Eddie said to you?
Eddie's not spoken to me personally. He speaks to Mick. But Eddie's just like, well, Eddie wants to fight. It's happening obviously next week, you know. Eddie would in touch straight away. I can't knock him straight in touch. He's trying to make it happen. He's telling Lenroy, but at the minute,
Bit up in the air.
It's a bit up in the air. I'm with the mindset it's happening because Lenroy can't mess with this. Do you know what I'm saying? You can't mess with this because there's not much in there, so you're going to struggle to mess with it.
So regardless of the situation with Lenroy Thomas, obviously you want it to be that and the Commonwealth title, but regardless of that, you believe you're still going to fight next week?
I am boxing next week regardless. Yes. 100 million% I will be in Cardiff on Wednesday or Thursday. I'm really looking forward to it. Like every time I've ever got in 100% condition, Adam McCarthy essentially every title, he pulled out of the Monday of the fight. Whether that was a serious injury or not, I don't know. I went to watch Richard Towers, I was in tremendous shape again. He pulled out Tuesday of the fight. Whether that was a serious injury or not, I think so. I spoke to Richard anyway and I believe him. And now this, every time I get in tremendous condition, I pull out, because I am ready, do you know what I'm saying? And if we end up with an Hungarian Binman, do you know what I mean? I end up with an Hungarian Binman, if that's what happens, Tom Dallas rematch, Dave R rematch, it happens, you know what I mean? But I'm good to go for whatever, literally anything, so.
Do you believe, or do you trust Eddie Hearn to get this situation sorted out quickly?
Yeah, Eddie's a man in it, in a way. Do you know what I mean? If anyone's gonna get Lenroy over here, it'll be Eddie. You know, he could talk. You know what I mean? So like money talks basically. If he pays Lenroy enough, he'll come over whether he's got a virus or he's got one leg hanging off. So I believe me and Lenroy Thomas is going to happen. By the time this has gone out, it's probably Dave Allen.
It's 1:34 now, whatever. So I just want to point that out to people. By the time this goes out, the situation may have changed, and hopefully for you it has. That you know kind of what's going on.
I'm just hoping that I'm boxing Lenroy Thomas because when I boxed him the first time, there's no excuse. He was a better man. You know, we can go into other things. But there is no excuse, he was a better man, he won. I do believe that he won the fight. But since that night, I've not thought about much else apart from Lenroy Thomas, because that was the first time I'd been in a 50-50 fight and I got beat, and I really want to beat him. I really knuckled down. I'm in tremendous. When you saw me in Brentwood when I boxed Tom Dallas, I looked like a pig, didn't I? And it didn't really improve for another week or two after. And then you know, my dad weren't well, and he gave me a few words, you know, and things have really turned around. My life's turned around, and I'm ready to perform next Saturday. Hopefully it's Lenroy Thomas. I'm going over the same things all the time, but I'm ready to go, and we're hopeful, you know. We're hopeful. I'm not confident, because I don't want to say bad things about Lenroy Thomas, because he beat me last time and he beat me fair and square, and I can't say, oh, he's a pussy, he's this and that, because he beat me anyway in a fight, didn't he? Really. So I just hope that if he can't make it and he's ill, it's genuine and he's all right. But I don't believe it is what I'm saying.
Obviously, we had the Pulev pull out of the fight last week, and Takam comes in. So yeah, hope this situation gets sorted for you more so.
Well, hopefully, you know. Obviously, Joshua, that needs sorting ASAP. That was obviously on the back burner the whole time, you know, with Takam. It is what it is, you know. For me and Lenroy Thomas is my be-all and end-all, you know. For a lot of people watching, they don't care less. But for me, obviously, this October 28th is the most important night of my life, so it's very important, you know. I can sit and laugh about it, but, you know, I only got 7 hours last night, you know. That was it. Worrying, tossing and turning. But it is what it is. It's a fight, and be it Lenroy, be it Dorian Darch, maybe, be it anyone else, you know. I'm just really looking forward to coming to Cardiff. You need to butt in and ask me questions, otherwise I'll just keep ranting on and on.
I know you watched the British title clash between Sexton and Cornish, so yeah, your honest thoughts on that. And Sam Sexton, now British champion.
But I really like Gary Cornish. I sparred him a few years ago. I like him as a man. Sam Sexton is a British champion now, and the British champion is never the best fighter in the division, because the best fighter in the division is usually a world champion if you're on Britain. You know, like Joshua's the world heavyweight champion. He's the best fighter in Britain. Dillian White's gone on from British. So she's order. Sam Sexton for me is probably the 10th best heavyweight in Britain, but he's a British heavyweight champion, if that makes sense. I kind of believe I'm the 9th best heavyweight in Britain, or maybe the 8th. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like I could beat Sam Sexton. I feel like I could beat Gary Cornish, but I'm in good shape now. I've been sparring. I'm doing the things that I knew I always could do, and I believe I got the beating of both men. The fight itself wasn't great, but I've been in some really shit fights. So for me to stand here and say that fight was shit, you know, go and watch Jason Gavin or the other fights, you know. So
address Tom Little.
I've never really seen Tom Little fight, so it's difficult for me to say.
But you've seen him obviously talk about wanting to fight you.
If I'm looking at his record, there's not really anything on there that's any good that makes me think. I'm not saying I'm fighting for the Commonwealth title, like, and I've boxed for it twice now, hopefully next week. If you look at my record, I beat the Frenchman, he was good. Jason Gavin's a decent name. I'm not really beating him, but neither is he, so it's difficult to say, innit? Maybe we're at a similar level, but because I've been lucky enough to have a decent profile, I'm fighting at a higher level, maybe, you know, with the losses and stuff, but it's not really a fight that excites me, you know, not really. If it happens, I'm not scared about fighting anyone, you know. I watched Luis Ortiz straight off the sofa, do you know what I mean? So if the Tom Little fight can happen, if Lenroy Thomas is not fighting and he wants to come in next week, that's fine by me, you know. I'm not really bothered.
What did you make of obviously Luis Ortiz's situation, failing a drug test, apparent 6-month ban?
The 6-month ban is his 3rd failed test, and when I boxed him, we wasn't tested, so it makes me think he might have punched my eye, because after that fight I couldn't get an erection for weeks. Yeah, that's the true story. Couldn't get an erection. I couldn't eat for weeks. I couldn't talk for weeks. I never sparred.
Did you say a week or weeks?
Weeks on end.
Well, you couldn't.
No, should have seen it when I could. It was really impressive. and I couldn't spar. I only did 20 rounds for the first Thomas fight because of my tongue, and it really affected me in terms of I I didn't want to be punched in the face for a long time after Ortiz, you know, and you know, they've got a man in for life now. His team, I like his team. I spoke to one of his team the other week before that news came out. I like him, but it's a case of if he's on the gear, if you've been caught 3 times, you know what it's going to take, KUGAN? It's going to take someone dying at the hands of someone who is on this stuff for them to say get him out, you know, and they should be arrested.
What Tony Bellew said the other day, actually, has someone got to die before they do anything like
that is exactly what's going to happen. And if I'd have gone another round with Luis Ortiz, I'd have probably been put on my back fast asleep. Do you know what I mean? And is that what it's going to take? I hope not. I'm like a teapot when I get talking serious, and it's one of them, you know. But I think a high percentage of boxing is rife with such stuff, you know. And I sadly think that's what it's going to take for it to get weeded out.
Right, listen, the weigh is going to start, so I'm going to have to go and concentrate on this. Yeah. Can you get me one of these?
I can, yeah. These are from freshprintshop.co.uk. Jamie Qualter.
Is there anything in the back?
Look at the back. So yeah,
I want one.
I'm going to get you one. They do them in shirts, hoodies.
We don't usually wear team stuff of other boxers because we don't want to look like we're kind of in bed with them, if you know what I mean. But like, when it comes to you, that rules go out the window.
Number one now.
I'll wear a Team Allen t-shirt every day.
There's no Team Allen on there.
No, I know, but Rhino. But what I'm saying
it could be anything Rhino.
You know.
But what I'm trying to say is, just to clarify, if anyone wants to skip to the end, even though you're at the end now, basically Lenroy Thomas hopefully is in. Probably, I'm thinking probably not. You know, next week we're going to get a replacement. You know.
But
if he is out,
possibly still could happen on the Hay Bellew card.
I'm hoping it happens next week still, to be honest, you know, and if it doesn't, we've been preparing for a southpaw for 10 weeks, you know, for sure, and then it's one of them things, you know, I'm not really bothered.
If Lenroy Thomas, just finally, if he's watching this video and you could say something to him at like 1:40 on the 20th of October now, what would you say? So
I would just say...
Talk to him, he's looking at you.
Lenroy, all right, mate. I know you've got a cold and that, but I've been training for 10 weeks now. I've not been eating any bad shit, and I want to take your belt off you. So I'd appreciate if you'd come over, you know, catch up, have a fight, have a nice evening in Wales. It's nice there, and I hope to see you next week, mate. Please. Yeah.
All right, Dave Allen, thank you very much for iFull TV, and listen, we'll catch up with you next week regardless of what's going on.
Cheers, thank you.
All right.